What if I told you the secret to success isn't a secret at all? Today, we're going to talk about a totally different way of thinking called the dark horse path. It's all about ditching the rulebook and finally unlocking success on your own terms.
You've felt it, right? There's constant pressure from society telling us there's a blueprint, a kind of paint-by-numbers formula you have to follow to make it big.
But what if that whole idea is just wrong? What if it's actually a trap? What if the only secret is that there is no secret formula?
Okay, so first up, let's break down what I'm calling the standard success playbook. This is that one-size-fits-all formula that we all get taught from day one.
You know, this idea goes way, way back. It really became popular during the industrial age, this whole concept of a single way to be rich and respectable. It's a super old-school mindset that was built for a world that, let's be honest, just doesn't exist anymore.
And, of course, this playbook has its own official toolkit. I bet you've seen these books everywhere, right? How to Win Friends, Think and Grow Rich, The Power of Positive Thinking. They're the absolute classics. But it begs the question, are these the only tools? Is this really the only way to build a life you love?
See, the big problem with this whole standard playbook is that it's built on a factory-based mentality. It basically treats you like a product on an assembly line. You know, just follow the same steps as everyone else, and you'll get the same successful outcome. But we're not products, and our lives are definitely not assembly lines.
So if that old way is broken, what's the alternative? Well, this is where things get really interesting. Let's talk about the dark horse. These are the folks who succeed by completely breaking the formula.
Now stick with me here, because this might sound a little random. What on earth could a golf legend like Tiger Woods, a sci-fi classic like Star Trek, and a town in New Zealand called Wanganui possibly have in common? It seems totally unrelated, but believe me, they are all pieces of the exact same puzzle.
So here's the difference in a nutshell. The standard path is like a straight, predictable highway. Someone else drew the map, and you just follow it. The dark horse path, that's a trail you blaze yourself. It's winding, it's surprising, and it's completely individualized. You're not just following the map, you are literally creating the map as you go.
So, simply put, a dark horse is someone who finds success because of their unique strengths and passions, not in spite of them. They aren't trying to squeeze themselves into a box that doesn't fit. They're building a life around who they actually are.
All right, I know what you're probably thinking. This all sounds great, but how does it actually work? Are you just supposed to wander around and hope you get lucky? No, absolutely not.
And let's be super clear about something. The dark horse path isn't chaos. It's not about just throwing all the rules out the window. It's about swapping an old, rigid system for a new one that's personal, flexible, and way more effective for the world we live in today. This new system really runs on two main ideas. First, it's self-paced. You are in charge of the timeline. Think about a fitness app like MyFitnessPal. It tracks your data on your schedule. Second, it's competency-based. This means you move forward when you've mastered a skill, not just because you've put in the hours. It's about what you can do, not how long you've been doing it.
Okay, real talk for a second. If you're listening to this and you've ever felt like your career and your true passions are on two different planets, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. And drop me a comment, let me know if you're feeling ready for a change.
All right, let's get to the absolute heart of all this. Because the real goal of the dark horse path, the reason this is so incredibly powerful, it's probably not what you're expecting. We've covered the what and the how, but now it's time for the most important part, the why. What is the real secret here? What's the prize waiting at the end of this journey?
Well, I can tell you, it's not some clever tactic or a life hack to get ahead.
And it is definitely not a shortcut. In fact, this path can sometimes feel a lot longer, maybe even harder, but the destination makes it all worth it. It's not about the money. It's not about status or fame. The number one goal, the entire point of forging your own path, comes down to this one incredible word, fulfilled. It's about designing a life that feels meaningful and purposeful to you. So what's the engine that drives you to fulfillment? It's one of the most basic, powerful things we have as human beings, choosing. It's the simple, profound act of choosing what really matters to you over and over again. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The single most important thing is to be fulfilled. And that deep, lasting fulfillment, it doesn't come from following somebody else's map. It comes from having the courage to choose your own path. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. The standard path will always be there, waiting for you. But if you want a life of true fulfillment, what is the path that you need to choose? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for digging into this with me.